Hope everyone's good today. And today we're going to go through like just things that I did for Sorrow. Tips and tricks, whatever. This was my reference. She's incredible. Her face is so expressive, asymmetrical eyes, bulgy. It's exactly what I was looking for. So much feeling in this woman's face. She is an amazing actress, and I just love her face. So I started with a Minerva here. Um, the thing about Daz's characters is they're always too pretty. Always too pretty, okay? So I wanted something unattractive, an old, unattractive female. That's what I wanted. Something real. And if you could still look at that unattractive female and connect with the eyes and the sorrow, that was the success of this image. A little bit chubby, a little bit old, nothing, no features that look good. So I went to work with her, pulled out my Vinmay Morsh, and you go through it slowly, get a good example of sorrow, and go to work. I start usually with the eyes, then go to the mouth, cheeks, brow, and then I go back and forth and back and forth. I spend a lot of time creating the emotion, a lot of time. I would say, honestly, a couple of hours. I'll sit there, I'll go through every single morph, go back and forward, see what's too much, too little, and start putting together a human. Right here, look at the mouth I start getting here. Look at the cheeks, the sagging flesh. That represents being a little bit old. The eyes, you see, do the details on the top. The brow starts to come over the eyes, the fleshy bits, larger indentations, the wrinkles under the eyes, they start dropping. All the skin starts dropping when you get a little bit older. And that's life, people, unless you live in Hollywood. But that's what I was trying to do. I was just taking my time. The eyes, asymmetry, right away, look at them. They're not the same. Eyeballs facing a little bit out. I used a lot of Vinmay morphs to get asymmetry, which is amazing. I tried hair on it. Hair didn't work, so I left her bald, which you don't really see. You don't even notice. It was too close, and I used a scarf, which adds so much drama to it, which is put on eyes. They were too clean, so I took a little bit of agitated eyes from that pack, and then I went through the iris. Iris was important. I didn't want blue eyes. I didn't want too strong eyes or piercing eyes. I wanted the eyes to be real because this was the image. It's the eyes. So I went through a lot of the irises and I landed up with, I think, like a brown or a gray brown. Something that didn't pop out, but visually, that was the real one. That was the real one. And then I could pop them out later with light. Okay? So as you can see, the mouth. Look at the mouth, the way it sags with those cheeks. It's not too much, though. We're not looking. Sorrow is not about a complete frown. Ain't about the frown, people. It's about that proper feeling of the mouth. It's gentle. Sorrow is you're using your muscles, but you still have a bit of a gentle face. Same with the eyes. The eyes, you're using your muscles, but it's this natural kind of a sadness to it where you're not putting too much force into the expression. And then comes the lighting. Now I tried a lot of lighting here, but her scarf thingy, that head thing, was always in the way for me to light it the way I wanted. Over here, I'm touching on the skin. Pick up Minerva, go to the shaders, shader parameters, and start messing with the skin. Then I put eyebrows on her, and I noticed they were very high. And when you have a sorrow expression, your eyebrows aren't high. They dipped. They dipped a lot. So I went to work, dipping them eyebrows all the way down. I always take like shots before and after so I can compare them, see if I'm going in the right direction. And over here you can see I'm squishing them a little bit and I'm dropping them a lot. And kind of straightening them out and having them at an angle from high in the center down to a little bit low on the sides, follow the eyes, and this is where it started taking shape with the eyes. Nose, I didn't beautify anything, I uglified everything. and this helped a lot. The maps, the normal maps, I used a couple of normals that I had from Minerva, from Nikolai. I painted a bit in Photoshop. I overlaid to get the wrinkles that I was looking for. Still not perfect, but I overlaid a good couple of normal maps and created my own normal maps for the wrinkles, because Minerva didn't have the best wrinkle maps. So don't be afraid to use wrinkle maps from other characters or whatever if they fit, or if you have to do some manipulation in Photoshop. So now what? I wanted like a bright light. I love this brightness that I was getting on the scarf on the left hand side. I wanted to leave the right hand side a bit in the dark or a little bit darker, but I couldn't get that light I wanted. So I took it into ZBrush, did some amendments on that scarf hat thingy, so the light would hit the face. There we go. Put the morph on. Now the light's hitting the face. And maybe it was a little bit too much, so I drew back that morph ever so slightly, just so it fitted what I needed it to. And bam! It looked good. Started looking good now. Now I started getting that uneasy light on the left-hand side of the face. And just touching on that eyeball. See, I get that specular now on the eyeball. I play a lot. Now, me and canvases, we're not friends, okay? Because I've got a plugin that I use for EXR that I use for another program, Arnold, it destroys the outputs of my canvases. So I always just render out 3 renders. Dome, scene, dome and scene together, and I mix the 3 because it helps me. Now over here I put in like a nice grade in the background. I did the usual brightness contrast on the faces. Always take out the eyes so I can manipulate the eyes separately, and I always go through the layers. I'm always switching on and off layers, seeing what's good, what's bad. I did brightness contrast on the irises or levels on the irises so I could get them to pop, and I just blended them nicely in. And then I duplicated them again, and I would make a certain point pop, okay? I pop that shit! And then I can Photoshop and just erase around there to leave a slight bit of pop, pop, pop. Always put my black bars in. I like my cinematic look. It gives it that kind of film look, and I like this kind of thing. What did we do next? So we really brightened those irises. Really brightened them, and then I took a Photoshop brush, and you can see I left just the sides where the light would catch nicely, and that's all I wanted. I even dumbed down the right one even more, but that left one, you see how that little area there pops? There's 2 layers on there. The one with a little bit brightness contrast on it, and the second one, a boost, but I take it all away. I leave like a little shard of glimmer, which really adds to the realism here. On the side there, it was really orange, and it looked beautiful, but way too distracting. That's the first thing I look at, that piece of orange. So I dumbed it down a lot on the scarf or the head thingy. Over here, I just took a big paintbrush and I did like this blotches of paint, and then I radial blurred them to get this look. I just radial blurred blotches of paint in different grades, but still I needed something more. I had to put in like a window or something. I was testing out Ron's bokeh brushes over here. I use them very subtly, and that's the biggest thing about these things. Subtlety, people. Subtlety, people. All right. And that's it. I took it into After Effects because I got this cool lens flare thing, which I could try. Obviously, I had my troubles with Maxon. Alright, Maxon. Love Maxon. Woo! Maxon for the win. And tried a couple of lens flares. Once I got the lens flare, I just rendered that image out so I could multiply inside of Photoshop. I added like a background of windows, blurred the hell out of it. Just like these squares, and you add glow to it and you get these cool windows. That's all. And then a nice gradient around. There's my lens flare. I kind of overlaid it or screened it on. Got my background now. Not too distracting. I've got light coming from one side, darkened to the other. The orange on the right hand side is not too distracting anymore. and then I start to form my picture, and that's it. I just test. I test a lot of different colors. What colors do I want? I test so many different things before I settle on something until something feels right. It should feel right. If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. And that's how I got this image. There we go. Bit of a lens flare on top just to blend the whole thing together. The brightness of the windows is the brightness on the left hand side of the scarf, which fits beautifully. The eye pops out beautifully there, and the expression is there. There we go. Sad ass. Sad ass. Sad ass. And that's how I got this image. I hope this helps people. And let me know in the comments if this is right. And I'll see you guys soon.